So today we'll be looking into higher order component and the possible performance leakage it can bring to our application. Okay, so here I have created one component called demo component. Inside that we have span, and component 1, 2, 3 I have rendered, and component 1 consists of like some text and use effect, which is just printing a log. And as we are using empty dependencies, the log will be getting printed after the mounting has happened. And now let's try to, so component 2 and 3 are similar, they are just printing logs. And now let's try to include this demo component into our app.js. So I have already included that, so let's just include that into our app component, and you see the component is getting rendered. And here if you observe, there are 3 components, but as we haven't used any higher order component for this, so let's create one higher order component. So I have already created one higher order component which renders component if flag is true, and it just returns some text if flag is not true, right? So let's use this higher order component to render our demo component. So how we do it is like, you can export higher order component, you pass your component and you pass the props or whatever key values that you needed, right? So now it is true and it is rendering component for us. Let's say it is false. Now if you go into higher order component, we say if this is true, render the component that you have passed, else render I'm not rendering that component. So this is working. So let's make that as a true only, so that it renders our component. And for now let's add some variable and update the app.js. So I'm creating one count state and updating that state after every 1 second. So, and I need to pass this state to my component, and now that component is gonna print that particular count. Now if you see, as count is incrementing, we are not seeing our logging, because in our component we are printing the logs only after the mounting phase. That means if that component is not mounting, we are not gonna update that particular state. So this is how it should be working. Now let's try other way to use higher order component. So here I can say my enhanced demo component, enhanced, so I'll copy it, enhanced demo component enhanced demo component. I'm gonna use it as a higher order component. I'll pass that my demo component to it, and right now I'm not passing any state, and I'm gonna use this as my higher order component. So I'll just use this component. If you see, we haven't passed any state to it here, so should render is coming as a false, and it is not rendering it. That is okay. Now let's pass that as a true. And now my count is let me refresh that. As my count is increasing, my logs are also getting printed. So if you go here, though we have added these logs into empty dependency, meaning this should get executed only after the mounting phase, but as our count is increasing, we are seeing logs into our console. That means this component is getting remounted again, right? The mounting phase is happening. So that was not supposed to happen. If this is getting updated, that is fine. If the props are changed, component gets updated, but they shouldn't get mounted again. So when we use the higher order component inside your render method or inside your functional component, subtree of your higher order component will be destroyed. That means unmounted and mounted every time this component gets re-rendered. So that is like huge disadvantage of using a higher order components inside render method or a functional component, and this is seriously should be avoided in order to achieve a better performance using React application. Thank you for watching.